So on Wednesdays, we like to celebrate women who are doing great things, women shining stars, women who are shining stars in their various fields of endeavors. So today, our guest, is the 65th president of the International Women's Society, IWS. As an astute leader passionate about the holistic wellness of women, she's also a seasoned strategist, project executor, and operation management specialist who oversees the activities of organizations ensuring efficiency in the execution and delivery of corporate social responsibilities and investments. Welcome with us, Mrs. Ifeoma Monye, to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you on the show.
You.
International Women's Society is a huge platform where women gather, and you're the president, you're the 65th president. Congratulations. Right. And we know they do quite a bit to empower women across board. Tell us a few things you've done and you're doing right now in this organization.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So IWS was founded in 1957 by a group of international women who wanted to be able to give back to society and to help the less privileged and advance the causes of women and children. So we have a number of projects. We have one, Widows, what we call the Widows Trust Fund, where we empower widows. So a lot of them are bereaved, they're going through that whole trauma, and many of them have never worked in their life, and now they have to work to fend for themselves and their families. So we train them. We ensure that they have the training. We counsel them to ensure that they're able to mentally deal with the loss, as well as now provide for them and their families. So, for example, we did a training earlier this year where we trained over 400 widows. We ensure that they were able to now make small chops, and then we start them off in their businesses. Some of them do fashion and designing. We actually also have a skills acquisition center, and then where we train courses from catering and event planning to adult literacy. So for those that can't read and write, they learn to read and write. We have beauty, so they learn to make hair. We also have fashion and design, so they all get accredited and do the full course. We also have a home for abandoned children in IJEOMA, and we're currently trying to get the children in our home adopted. We also have a day nursery, which is our oldest project, which started in 1961 in Yaba. It was to ensure that the underserved have a solid foundation in education. So that's been running since 1961.
So I like that IWS is doing so much, but let's go back to you.
Yes. Okay.
Let's find out. I'd like the ladies to go ahead.
But I wanted to quickly, maybe before we go back to her, just ask about the empowerment of women. And you mentioned widows, the training. Is there, because I've seen a lot of people who have, attended some of these trainings, they've gotten a sort of empowerment, but after a few years, they are back to square one and they're looking for jobs. So they'll tell me they were trained here, they were trained there, but yet there's no place to work. I'm trying to make the hairs, I'm not able to sell, I just need a job. Do you, after the training, go back and review and see where they are?
Yes, so one of the things, it's important, like you said, so it's to ensure their sustainability, they're taking care of the children, and that the cycle continues. So what we do is we have a register, and we don't just empower or give money. You have to ensure they know what they're doing. So we even partner with banks to ensure that the women are financially literate. They understand how to run a business. They understand how to even get loans. We want them to be able to scale up. So we also do business trainings, and then we go and check up on them. What are the issues they're having? We get partners for them and mentors to be able to speak to them to say, these are the issues they're having. How can we help? So we ensure that we're not just giving them money and then leaving them. We follow up with them. Yes.
So because it's women we love, I would have loved to start from you as a person, your background, family life, and what exactly informed this humanitarian work that you've sort of found yourself in now.
Okay. So I'm a strategist. I'm a partner at Ciuci Consulting, which is a management consulting firm. I'm actually also the co-CEO of Lufodo Productions with Joker Silva. So I actually joined IWS 20 years ago in October. I moved back to Nigeria 20 years ago. And my mom was actually an EXCO member. And I used to see her every Tuesday with a bag, and she was always going out. And so I wanted to know more about it. And what are you doing? She was like, oh, she's giving back. She's helping the less privileged. So I went for a few meetings with her and liked the work. So I got involved. I became a member.
20 years.
20 years ago, yes. October, I was inducted October of 2002. Yes. And that's how it, and then again, I saw that we have women from all sorts of backgrounds who have done well in their careers and they wanted to be able to give back. And IWS has been there for 65 years. There's structure. So I said, okay, we can see what we're doing. It's tangible. You can see the impact we're having. And so I really wanted to be a part of it. Yeah.
So I'd like to still, talking about you, I got to, I found out about IWS through Mrs. Egoboyo when she was the president. They had this brunch. I went there and I was like, yeah, I'm going to come and join, you know. And a lot of people I knew then also joined, and it's been a very impactful journey. But I want to, personally, you've been there for 20 years and you decided to vie for, to be in this position. I want to ask, why did you decide to do this? What were you hoping to achieve personally for yourself? And how has that journey been right now?
So when I joined, and I really never thought about being president. I think that came up a few years. I think first time was in Mrs. Boyer's year. And I guess maybe being a strategist and having that skill set, it was like, okay, I can actually help out. It's important that we're able to take IWS to the next stage. Times are changing, things are happening. We've been doing a lot for women. I wanted us to be able to, and there's one I didn't mention, we do scholarships for girls, but I felt we could do more for the girl child, especially in today. So for example, the girl child who doesn't have access to technology, knows nothing about robotics, how can we get them more involved? So that's why I was like, okay, I believe I have my skill sets to offer. Let me offer my skills to be able to ensure that we have more impact. For me, it's all about impact.
Let's talk about why this strategy, because many people they seldom get involved. They want to give back, but they don't get involved in organizations because they just feel like it's either self-serving or somewhat. But this is an organization that is old, that is so 60-something years, 65 years,
all of us.
older than all of us. What kind of structure have they put in place to ensure this stability and the fact that people can scale? Because people like to replicate it, but they've not been able to. What do you think is that essence that makes it so?
So it's that whole ensuring that you have good governance and you have a proper structure. So we have a board of trustees. Board of trustees are former presidents. And then you have the executive. So the executive, before you can become an executive, you must have been a member for 2 years to understand how the society works. And then before you can even become a president, you need to have been a member for 10 years and be on EXCO for 6 years. So that way you understand the structure, you understand the history behind it. And so we do, before any decision can be made, you ensure that your executive approves of it. So it's to ensure you have good corporate governance, you have policies and processes in place to be able to keep it going. And then we also have committees. So for each of these projects I mentioned, from Widows Trust Fund to the home, each one has a committee. So members are now able to give of their time. So if someone is interested, for example, day nursery, being able to go read to the children at the day nursery, they can join that committee. So ensuring that you're aligning your skill sets and what you're passionate about and being able to be a part of that is important.
Okay, so you came back to this country 20 years ago.
Now will you be here?
And you have been in this country.
Yes.
Tell us your experience, because we have a lot of diasporans who are afraid to come back. You've been here for a while now. They say when you come, you travel,
it's so
you are
bad, they
kidnapped,
travel,
you
they
are
run away.
insecure. So there's a lot of fear in their area because they hear some news here and there in Nigeria. So tell us your experience being here 20 years, what you have enjoyed so far, what you're still enjoying, and what they will enjoy if they decide to use their resources, come back and help us.
The good and bad.
Give us the good first.
I think for me, it's a personal choice. With everything and the situation, you can't blame anyone for whatever they decide to do. But for me, I've always been about Nigeria. I never thought about it. I left after GS3. I went to QC. I actually went on holiday, and I just never came back. I was enrolled there. So I went to secondary school there, did my GCSE A-levels, university. I didn't wait for my results. In my head, I always knew I was coming back. No one said anything to me. And for me, why I'm still here is that I can't keep complaining. I have to do my own bit. And that's the same thing with IWS. It's like, yes, government has a part, but we need to do our own. And so that's mine. In my own little way, let me give back. Let me say that I did my own and it worked or it didn't work. And so that's it for me. Yes, there are a lot of frustrations. And I think, honestly, our issue is about institutions. We need to ensure, like we mentioned, structure. Because we're the same people, we're the same Nigerians that are doing well outside the country. Why is it that once we go out, we do well? So it's structure.
But goes back to what I want to harp on that a bit, because Nigerians abroad want to come back, but they are scared. And that's why I wanted you to highlight that structure. You see, you come back, you bring some money in, you come in, and you feel that something happens, and then they swindle the money, or then you feel like you've lost out. But you see, some of us have not been able to put together a proper structure to ensure that those investments coming into the country are properly used. There was a doctor that came here too, he's a Nigerian, but he lived, I think, 30 years abroad. He came back to Nigeria, and was able to build some kind of a structure to ensure that people are able to harness some funds to help Nigerians. So I think I'd like you to stay a bit more to help advise, especially Nigerians abroad, who really want to come back. What would you advise should be their starting point? What can they do to at least be able to properly give back?
Okay, two things. It's important that you have the right mindset. Again, a lot of times people come back and then speak to Nigerians or speak at Nigerians and don't understand what we're about. So you need to understand how Nigerians do things. You need to be able to understand the mindset and the culture and not try and push what was done in the US or in the UK. You need to understand how people work. And then that way, once you're speaking that same language, so it's a mindset as well. We can't, I always say to people, you can't come and say everything someone is doing is bad. Of course, they're not going to accept you. You need to first of all understand, actually, why are they even doing what they're doing?
You see what I'm loving?
And understand that and be able to bring it back.
Like to understand there's a way to as it relates to people and, you know, their place. But I am hearing about this society, International Women's Society, maybe for the second or third time. And so I would not be able to say this is how to access or how far their work has gone. So are you based in Lagos, for instance? How far-reaching is the work across the country? And are you focused on widows only? Do you help divorcees? Do you help women starting up? You know, what exactly does...
Okay, so IWS, so it's more than widows. We have the day nursery where we help young children. We have the home for abandoned children. We have our skills acquisition center to ensure that people, so they're NAPTEP certified. So once you come to our skills acquisition, you're doing a proper course, you're doing exams, and you're getting certifications. Also, one of the programs I've been able to bring in this year is for the girl child to ensure that she has the skill set where she's able to compete with anyone in the world. So we started off chess. Why chess? Because of the cognitive reasoning they get. It's not just for the game, it's how you apply it in life. We also have STEM programs for girls, and we've partnered with other companies. One thing I always say is we can't try and do everything on our own. You need to partner. So we've partnered with other NGOs, for example, Chess to Slums. They are partnered with us and are the instructors teaching our girls chess. We also partnered with STEM Mets Nigeria. So they provide the STEM education for girls. We also, I feel mentoring is important for our girl child. So we've also started a mentoring program where we go speak to girls, just understand the issues they're having, ensure that they see women who are doing well. And for example, I had a session last week for the International Day of the Girl Child. And some of the questions is just like, okay, can I do makeup and be an accountant? You know, they just want someone to speak to. Sometimes they don't know one around them is there, you know? So it's just being there for them to answer the questions and the little things that might be bothering them. So we do mentoring for girls as well. So we have different programs for women.
So I want to sort of go back into your own journey. And the reason I wanted to do this is so that we can understand the mindset. I know that you have daughters, and I know that there's a shuttle between Asaba and here. And, you know, whenever people hear about leaving Lagos, there's this fear in people's minds that, oh, no, the only place that is still a bit stable is Lagos. I want you to talk about the journey in Asaba, the political journey, if you're willing to go there, yes, and what lessons have you learned, and how can we now, because the Nigerians want to go into politics, and your husband took the bull, you know, so what would you say was your experience as a wife of someone that was contesting, and what was that journey?
Are you sure we want to go there? Are you sure we really want to go there?
Still the Nigerian story.
I actually don't think, honestly, I'll be blunt. We say one thing and we still don't, we say we want something, but I don't think we're ready for it. That's the honest truth. So when we get what we want, I was still shocked. So I think that's what I'll say. I think I'm happy he did it. It wasn't the plan. To be honest, it came to me as a shock. But I'm happy he did it because I'm tired of people talking. So I was happy that he decided to go in there and say, okay, this is what I'm able to give and I want to be able to give back. The journey, like I said, I don't think people... It's easy to just write something, but then it comes at a cost. And most of us are not willing to pay the price, you know. So we don't want to do the sacrifice anything. We just want to enjoy. But for any good thing, we really need to sacrifice. Yes, being a mother, running around, handling that. There's something I always say, I actually call it the pretty balancing act for women, is that we need to have a support system, being able to raise our kids, ensuring that, well, like you said, today I'm co-CEO, I'm president of IJEOMA. Tomorrow I need to be in Asaba. I need to be there for my kids. So it's to ensure that I have a good support system to help me out. Asaba is wonderful. I love my time there. Lagos, yes, is the center, but there are other places out there. And I think in Nigeria we need to explore. We have so many beautiful places.
Time. Let me let this jump in the last question.
Your name just registered Monye.
Yeah. Yeah. My husband is on the Trigbo, so very close to Asaba,
okay,
yes.
You are Asaba?
No, I'm from Anambra.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, amazing. So,
can you imagine?
So, let's quickly talk about how you are. I don't know if there's something in my head that comes up often when we talk about how to help the girl child. Is there any place for the boy child? I see a lot of strong girls already, and the boys are beginning to lack. Is there any way we can balance this out so that we don't raise very strong women and then we don't have men that they're going to?
I agree with you completely. But to be honest, the issue is that the focus has always been on the boys. That's the honest truth. But yes, work has to be done. So at IWS, we don't say we don't help out the boys. So our day nursery is open to both boys and girls. For example, our skills acquisition center, we do have men that come once in a while. Our home for abandoned children, we actually have more boys than girls. Wow. So we are catering to boys as well, definitely.
I have to wrap up with you, but I think one of the things that struck me in this conversation is when you decided to come home and the fact that you said that we must understand the people first. This is so critical because our strength really are the Nigerians in diaspora. You know, if we can find a way to invite them home, and when they do come home, how they can be useful for us is when they're able to first understand the system, not come in with criticism, and this is how it's done, this is international best practice. Come in first, understand, and then you can help people. Because I think I can also refer to my experience with the Commissioner for Education, and I've said this before. She's a thoroughbred private sector person. She came into government for the first time with that same attitude of, you know what, I'm coming here to fix things. But then she came in and calmed down, understood the system. Then she realized that, well, this system is more complex and it's more advanced than many of us in the private sector. That the educational system in Lagos State is top-notch. What we need is a mindset change to get people to actually do the job. So the system is there. The curriculum works. It's just getting people to use it, teachers to teach. The curriculum is there, just teach. You know, so there are things that you can come in, understand it first, and then you can help. Thank you very much for coming home. I'm happy that you're doing so much more with this IWS, and hopefully we pray that more people, and I like the fact that generationally you can see that your mom was there, you're now there, hopefully your children will be there, and I think that is the structure we need, even as a nation. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.